Hey guys, and welcome to the Let's Get Rare podcast, episode 2. If you're coming back from last week, welcome back. And if you're new here, it's just three guys talking about their lives. We'd like to thank everyone for their feedback on the last episode, all your ratings and reviews. We got a few DMs on Instagram that we really appreciated, and we did get some feedback. We found out that Cotton On is a brand. A few people messaged us telling us that, so
There
we
you
appreciate
go.
the support. That was a bit of a question we had there.
Yeah, I was happy to hear that. So
Yeah, so the response was pretty good from episode 1. I think we were pretty happy with it. We got a fair few listeners.
yeah, we had about I think just over 200 views on the first episode. So we're pretty happy with that, and we did get a lot of positive feedback. So we'll definitely be keeping it going in the future.
For sure. And if you're new here, let your friends know. We're going to try and grow even further as much as we can, get bigger
That's
and
it.
better.
That's it.
Be sure to shout us out on Instagram, get plenty of people following us, and then you can tell your friends that you're one of the originals that followed us when we become
Yes,
Exactly.
big.
sir.
You've listened to episode 1 and you can tell everyone that.
Yep.
So, boys, how was your Easters? Easter just passed. How was it?
Wow. Jack, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll kick us off. Well, it's pretty tame Easter, really, with all that's going on. So my mum just got some catering, and then we just had Easter, me, my brother, my mum and my dad just at home. It was good as well because you didn't have to go to two different places. So after lunch, everyone had a nap, and then we didn't have to get rechanged and go out again. It was great.
The old siesta.
Exactly. Gotta love it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, I don't know if it's just me, but like, I feel like Easter's not as big of a celebration compared to like Christmas or whatnot. But
No,
I don't know,
I agree.
that might just be me. But yeah, it was pretty quiet. Yeah, just stayed home obviously, and yeah, it wasn't anything spectacular, but it was good. Yeah.
Matthew, yourself?
Yeah, I had Nonna's cooking. She was pretty keen to still get us around, but we sort of had to break the news to her that we couldn't, which was a bit
Yeah.
deflating, but she still wanted to cook, being the Italian woman that she is. So she made a big chunk of lasagna for the family. We came
Oh,
around, passed it over the fence, came home and had that for dinner.
passed it over the fence, really?
Yeah,
No way, that's crazy.
it was still very
Uh,
nice, but obviously a bit different without the family. But times are tough. What can you do? Just
yeah,
got to
not
make the
much you
most
can
of it.
do. That's it.
Now, we did get some DMs from the listeners about
Yes.
suggestions for topics to talk to.
Yeah, we did.
One of the messages we got is from Jordan. He wanted us to
Yeah.
talk about ghosts because this is a big topic in our lives.
Yeah.
We're fairly into ghosts. So Jackson, do you want to take over because you're big on this?
Yeah, well, obviously, for Jordan who DM'd it in, he has a few ghost stories of him of his own experience. So I think he was keen to hear our take on it. We do have a couple of stories. I've got one in particular that I'll share today. But if you do want to hear the others, I'm sure we'll be spilling them in a future episode. So, but for this one here, when was this? This was probably about 3 years ago. I think you guys would probably remember this pretty clearly because it is quite strange what occurred. But it would be about 3 years ago. It was probably about 2 a.m. I'd say.
Oh,
Um, we had just hung up the phone after playing PlayStation all night, pretty much. So yeah, we just hung up. I went to go to bed, so I've gone to brush my teeth in the bathroom, got all ready to go to bed. And then as I've walked back into my room and I've closed my door and I've heard this strange scratching noise, right? So as soon as you hear that, I'm thinking, okay, it's probably my dog trying to come in. Obviously, what else would be a scratching noise at that time? Um, so I open the door thinking it was my dog, look around, there's nothing there. The dog's not nowhere to be seen. So I go back. I brush it off. I'm like, all right, whatever. Go back into bed, get myself ready, go to bed. And obviously at that point, I'm a bit timid. I'm like, all right, obviously that was a bit strange. So I'm sitting there. You know when you get a bit paranoid and you're like, any slight little noise
Yeah.
will like put you
Yeah.
off.
Your senses
like-
are heightened.
Oh, they are so heightened, and like you'll hear like the house creak a bit, and you're like, what the hell? Like you're just it's like that. So like, and it was a pretty warm night that night, I remember, and I've got the doonas like right up to my face because I'm pretty scared at the time, and I'm starting to sweat as well because like when you get a bit scared, you start sweating and that.
Yeah.
But anyway, and like I stood up because I couldn't sleep obviously, so I went to go to the toilet again. I stood up, and as I've opened, because my door was closed, as I've opened the door, I've like, it's so hard. So I've checked the posters and they're fine. Like they're not even moving. So anyway, I went to the toilet, came back in bed, and literally just as I'm about to fall asleep, like I can feel myself falling into sleep. Literally, all 3 of the premiership posters fall off the wall at the exact same time.
Oh no.
I remember this now.
Oh gosh.
At the exact same time. Like, you cannot scoop that. The fan was not on. There's no, like, windows weren't open or anything. All 3 of them fall at the same time.
And they don't normally fall, do they?
No, like, I don't think that ever felt ever before that.
Oh, bloody hell.
And obviously at that point, I'm literally freaking out. Like, that the instinct of when they fell, I screamed, jumped up, sprinted down the stairs, almost stacked it, and I've gone screaming into my parents' room, and like they just sat me down trying to calm me down. I'm literally like hyperventilating, and literally 16-year-old teenage boy sleeping at the end of his parents' bed that night. Like
That is class.
And because I sprinted so quickly down the stairs, I left my phone in the room.
Oh no.
So
Oh,
and there was no way I was going back upstairs to get my phone. And even the next day when I woke up, I literally did not go into my room for 24 hours. So I was without a phone the whole day.
Oh my
I
god.
couldn't even tell anyone about it. But yeah, that was probably the scariest thing. Like in terms of just freak reaction of when those posters fell and me just like getting completely scared. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
We laugh about it, but we would have done the exact same thing in that situation.
Yeah.
Or
Like
not
you got to make a joke out of it. But at the time, like I'm telling you, I was literally having conversations with my parents to move house.
I was about to say I would have just left.
Yeah.
I would have just gone to one of your houses.
It was seriously at that point where I just did not want to sleep in that room anymore. And like it wasn't like the first, like I'll tell other stories in future episodes, but it definitely wasn't the first time that I've experienced, not to that extent, but there's definitely weird things that have happened in that room.
For anyone that doesn't know, Jackson lives in an estate that used to be the Larundel Mental Asylum where all the cuckoos used to be held. So there could be something in that.
We are convinced Jackson's house is haunted.
Yeah, there's something.
But there is no doubt in our minds.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to be fair, the last probably year or two have been alright. I haven't had any weird things happen in the last year or two. But that kind of makes me like a bit nervous as well, knowing that something probably will happen very soon. So.
Something big's gonna happen.
Now that we've talked about it.
Yeah, but like I'm telling you, like once you experience the worst, like something like that, it's like you don't really like you definitely get a hard skin from it. Like you can't experience anything like scarier than that when you think about it.
Yeah.
Sure, because it's so unknown. Like you have no idea what it is. It's not like it gives me the chills thinking about it.
Yeah, like literally, what? Somehow those 3 posters have like if one fell, I could take someone saying like, oh, but it's just like the glue tack just came apart because it was a warm night. But the fact that all 3 of them fell at the exact same time, like I just don't think that's a coincidence, in my opinion.
To put it into perspective of how haunted Jackson's house is, when we decided that we're going to talk about ghosts on the podcast, the first thing we said was, which story is Jackson going to tell?
Yeah.
Not,
So-
so we'll all tell a story. No, which one is Jackson going to tell? Because he's got that many.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like, and I definitely am a believer in like spirits and afterlife and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a strange topic because it's just so surreal how you can think that there's other activity outside your, what would you call it, like spectrum. It's just
Yeah.
strange like that.
Our scope of knowledge and understanding.
Yeah, and it's like the fact you can't see it and you can't put to terms what it is. It's just
Just there.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not like
it's-
there's a table. It's like we don't understand what it is. There's no proof that it exists. It's just
yeah,
like,
exactly.
it's a whole nother concept.
Yeah, and that's like the thing. That could be with anything as well. Like if you look at aliens or something like that, like obviously because people can't see it, like their instinct is just to not believe it. So, but if you do think of it like really hard, there has to be extraterrestrial life outside of this planet. Like
You'd
Yeah.
be naive to think otherwise.
With
It
the
just
amount of
doesn't-
space that there is in the universe, all the planets, all the stars, even outside of our universe, our galaxy, you're right. It would
Yeah.
be naive to think that we're the only living form, life form in our universe.
Yeah, it just comes back to like people not believing unless they see something.
Which I
And that,
understand because a lot of people are very scientifically minded where you need evidence, you need proof to believe in something.
yeah.
And at the same time, like it is, I wouldn't say fun, but it's stimulating to imagine these sorts of things and believe in them that there could be something that we don't understand or that we don't know about.
Because we are literally a pin drop in like the galaxy of this universe. Like it's just crazy. We are so small in terms of our universe, the Milky Way. Imagine, and there's like what, billions and billions of universes, not even planets, like
Yeah.
universes. Just imagine that. Like it's so crazy when you really take a step back and think about it.
Yeah, exactly right.
I really hope that someone finds like pure evidence or like some government comes out and says, yes, aliens exist. Here's the proof in our lifetime. Because I want to be alive to witness this.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think they ever will, to be honest, Matt. Because imagine like the riot, sorry, that would happen if they came out and said that. Like, oh, we've been lying to you the last 50 years about extraterrestrial life. It's like
That's true.
people would go crazy. They would literally riot the White House saying, "What else are you hiding from us?"
Exactly
Like-
right.
Because there is already evidence of them hiding stuff and lying to their people and everything. And this
Yeah,
is another thing that people already feel strongly about. It would be so much worse.
I just couldn't see them coming out and saying that. Like maybe if something happened, like if something, I don't know, this is just me talking, but say like they spotted something in the sky and it was like really obvious to people around the world and they came out and investigated it and then they said it, maybe that could lead somewhere, but I don't think they would just come out and be like, yep, aliens, yep, they're real, mate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, there has been, this, in quotation marks, evidence of aliens. Like there's,
Yeah.
going back to like the 60s, I think it was, I think it's Roswell in America.
Yeah.
Roswell, New Mexico.
Yeah.
That's like the alien story, like
I'm
number one.
I'm pretty sure Hamish and Andy went there on one of their gap years.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Is that
Remind
whole
me-
town would just be transformed now? Like that's the alien town.
That's the
sort of thing.
alien town, yeah.
Give me a backstory on it. I don't think I'm aware of it.
So I'm not 100% sure, but I think there was like a supposed like UFO sighting. So that's another thing. I'll get back to that, the UFOs. But
Yeah.
for Roswell, there was a supposed UFO sighting and then it crash landed in a farm or a field or something. And
Yeah.
like the citizens went up and found it, like they knew it was there. Obviously, they called like the police, or probably even more like higher ups than just the police. And
Yeah.
they came and like got rid of it, took it away, and then sort of covered it up and said it was just a weather balloon. And then there's all these people that were there saying like, no, I looked at it. It looked nothing like a weather balloon. It looked like this disc object that had crashed into my farm, sort of thing.
Yeah, right.
But then there was this whole cover up that now they're lying. They've taken away the aliens. They're like reverse engineering this ship to try and discover new technology that the aliens are using. And
Yeah.
it's a whole conspiracy theory that gets deeper and deeper the more you look at it.
I've just looked it up now, and I think there's a movie on it. It's called
Yeah,
Roswell.
there would be.
Probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
1994. But you know what else is crazy? Have you listened to the Joe Rogan podcast with Bob Lazar?
I've watched bits and pieces. Haven't watched the entire thing though.
Yeah, so
That man, I'm telling you, definitely look into it, because there's
He knows
definitely
stuff.
something in that. There's definitely something in that. Because basically he used to work not at Area 51, but he was employed to work at, I think, Area 52. So it was like the sister base or something. And I was saying how like there was some sort of aircraft that they didn't like, that they had, and he was employed to come, because he was an engineer. He was employed to come and like take a look at it and pretty much discover the technologies that it had. And pretty much what he said is that there's literally no, it's impossible to have any sort of like functioning of what we have on Earth. So like there's no chance that it's from this planet, because like it literally breaks the laws of physics that we have here.
I think I've seen that clip actually.
Yeah, it's definitely look into it, because it's crazy. It will definitely blow your mind.
well, he was saying stuff like the ship was made out of completely new materials that they've never even seen or comprehended before, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. And like the way the space, because I'm pretty sure they actually like flew the spacecraft, or whatever you want to call it, aircraft. They actually flew it, and the way it moved in the air, it just broke the laws of physics that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's videos of that as well, not that exact flight, but there was another, I think it's called the Nimitz incident or something like that, where
Yeah.
there was a US aircraft, like a military aircraft flying, and they obviously have their radars and their sensors and everything. So there's film of that, like being recorded straight off that, where there's like this, it looks like a Tic Tac on the screen. Like there's this Tic Tac shaped thing, and it's moving around and like changing shapes and everything. And the whole time you can see like the altitude and the zoom of the sensor and everything on the actual screen. And it's trying to zoom and like focus in on this object, and it can't. And it changes shape and it moves around, and then it just flies off. Like it doesn't disappear, but how fast it goes, it looks like it might as well disappear. Like it just zooms off the screen. It's insane.
That's crazy.
It's so weird to think how like there might be other civilizations out there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just mind blowing, to be honest.
And then the conspiracy theories get so deep. Like
Yeah.
obviously we believe that there's extraterrestrial life, but then it gets so deep where it's like aliens helped the Egyptians build the pyramids and all that stuff. That's where it starts to get a bit foggy for me.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like that's a whole nother subject that we probably won't have time to get into, but that whole pyramid conspiracy is crazy.
Yeah. Hard to believe, really.
It is. Well, it's so far out of our scope.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so hard to believe.
I want to be able to have like a mindset where like, not that I believe everything, but I'm open to everything, but that's just very hard to believe.
Yeah.
You definitely got to be open-minded to things.
Oh, absolutely.
And like I reckon that's something that has probably developed in the last like 20 years, how like people are definitely more open-minded than they were in the past.
Oh shit,
Right.
yeah.
And like if you look at that in the future as well, like where would that lead people in the future? So
If we keep going on that trend where people continue getting more open-minded and free will
Exactly.
and free thoughts and everything.
Exactly right. So, yeah, it's definitely interesting stuff.
Going back to Bob Lazar real quick, you said he worked at like Area 52 or something, didn't you?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, that's another thing because for me, I see it as why would the government have Area 51 and like aliens and alien spacecraft and everything in Area 51 when it's common knowledge that that's like an alien base?
Wouldn't
Like,
they?
why?
Yeah,
I think it would be stupid for like not the smartest people, but like some of the biggest names in the world, like American officials and everything, military officials, if they did have this information and these aliens and these spacecrafts, to actually have it in the place where everyone believes that they have it.
yeah, that's right. Like you'd think they'd be a bit more, you know, secretive with it.
Like it's probably underground in like the desert in Arizona or something, rather than above ground in a secret airbase where everyone can come and see it.
Yeah.
Obviously, they guard it and everything because it is a private area, but like you can like stand a few kilometers away and look into the base.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly right.
And then going back to the UFOs, sorry, I'm just jumping around a bit here.
yeah, that's
But
right.
like there's this whole concept of UFOs being connected to aliens. But like if you look up and you see something in the sky, that's a UFO technically.
Yeah.
Because UFO is unidentified flying object,
No,
right?
that's a true say.
So like you could
That
see
is
a
true.
balloon in the sky, not realize what it is, and technically it's a UFO. So
Yeah.
when the government and all these other people come out and say there's been a UFO sighting, that doesn't necessarily mean aliens. It
Yeah,
just means
that's
there's
right.
something in the sky that they don't know what it is.
Just some bloke in Turak with a shit ton of money just made his own flying object.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange topic to talk about.
It is.
Absolutely.
Well, do you remember that movie we watched in Riot Jack about aliens?
That was one of the rarest films I've ever seen in my life.
I can't remember what it was called.
Alien Abduction.
Is that it? Alien Abduction. If you can find it anywhere, I urge you to go watch this movie. It is the
was it a good movie?
strangest thing I've ever seen.
It might be the
Really?
worst film of all time, but it's so good.
Wow.
It's
Worst film
like-
of all time. That could be a future top 5.
Yeah.
Worst films ever.
Well, me and Jack already have our number ones. It's like a found footage film. Like it's on a handheld camera, like this shaky camera sort of thing,
Oh,
where
really?
all these people are trapped in a house and then they know aliens are invading and they come down to Earth and they trap an alien in the upstairs bedroom or something.
Yeah.
They try and tie it up and then some guy tries to break down the door and the alien's gone. And there's like a hole in the roof because the aliens have come to steal this other alien. Oh my gosh, it's so confusing. I won't spoil the ending.
Oh, it's funniest.
I won't spoil it because people need to watch this movie.
It's got a 28% Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
so-
Exactly. It's so bad.
That's really generous.
The aliens
Yeah,
have
it's actually
like,
not too bad.
the aliens just come and take over. They have like finger pistols or something. They have like lasers coming out of their fingers. Oh no, it's such a weird movie.
That's great.
It's
Wow,
like aliens can't be like that. Like there's no way. The way we think of
Yeah.
aliens and everything, there is no chance on Earth that that is what they actually are. Okay, so a popular segment of all the feedback we got is the Would You Rathers. So it's back again for week 2.
It's
2
bad.
more Would You Rathers. Jackson hit us with some Would You Rathers.
Yeah, so we've got 2 this week. One came in from Adrian Sacco, so he DM'd us, and we've got his one in, and then the other one I've made up
Friend of the
myself.
podcast.
Definitely
friend of the
podcast. Future guest, perhaps. Anyway,
Oh,
Okay.
might have to figure that out.
A bit of
Stay
a
tuned.
dropping a hint. We could have guests in future episodes.
stay tuned. Subscribe to the Apple Podcast. Anyway, so Adrian Sacco has gone with the it's a classic Would You Rather, but definitely some deep answers can come from it. So, would you rather know how you're going to die or when you're going to die?
Ooh, that's tough.
This is a classic. Would you rather?
It's literally the template of would you rather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't get easier though.
Yeah, it's by all means still a tough question.
Yeah. Matt, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but it's tough. I think this is my thought process. I think if I knew when I was going to die, like it could be good, it could be bad. Obviously, if it says tomorrow, then I'm going to spend all of today scared. I don't know what I'm going to do. But if it says in
Probably play
75
PlayStation.
years, yeah, I probably would if I'm honest. If it said in 75 years, then I'd live the next 74 years carefree. And then that last year, I'd be thinking about it. And I'd be scared that whole year. And I'd just be thinking, I'm going to die today. I'm going to die soon. I know I'm going to die. But if I knew
Yeah.
how I was going to die, like if it said car accident, obviously the chances of getting in a car and getting in a car accident are pretty low. But
Take
that
the train
doesn't
the rest of your life.
exactly. But
Yeah,
it
but
probably won't stop me from getting in a car. Like I would
Yeah,
still drive
yeah.
because that could mean 80 years from now I could get in a car. And if it
Yeah,
said like
Sorry.
old age or something, like you die from complications from old age, then I'm fine. Like I know the next 70 years I'm fine. And then when I die, it's a surprise just like anyone else.
Yeah.
So I think for that reason, I'm going to go with I'm going to find out how I die.
Yeah, let's say hypothetically, if you choose how you know you're gonna die, then like you can't avoid it. So like if it's you're gonna drown, it's like I just won't swim then. Well, you can't. Let's just say hypothetically you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you
Most
reckon, Jack?
I'm gonna go with know when.
No when. Okay.
When,
Why is that?
okay.
Yeah. Because I honestly am not afraid of dying. So
Okay.
if I know when, I'll probably just live out the remainder of my life how I please and just do whatever I wanted to do. So like just go on a holiday or just spend like last few weeks, months, years with mates and like honestly just not take the piss but just enjoy it while I can rather than live a not boring, but live a normal life, if you know what I'm saying.
Can I ask, what makes
You
you
can
not
always ask.
afraid of dying? What makes you not afraid?
I don't know. I know people can be scared of dying because it's like the whole what happens after death and stuff. But I reckon if you're happy enough with your life, you shouldn't be afraid of dying because you've done all you've wanted to do. And at the moment, I'm pretty happy with what I've done with my life. So I don't really. Obviously, I want to keep living. I'm not saying I want to die, but if I was to die now, I wouldn't be like scared to.
I like
Yeah.
that thought process.
Yeah, no, the only reason I ask is because I know, like, for a lot of people, like, they are afraid of dying. So,
Yeah, they fear
I'll say it. I am. I'm hacking myself thinking about dying.
yeah, because it's the fear of the unknown, pretty much. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's what you think about it, like, in this whole coronavirus stuff. Like, it's people are scared because they don't know what's going to happen. That's
Exactly.
the reason.
That's
so,
right.
like, when you think about the actual virus, it's not like, yeah, it kills people, but so does the flu. It's the fact that we don't know how to prevent it and we don't know what's going to happen in the future is why it's such a big deal. So that's
Exactly right.
Spot on. What do you think, Jackson?
And Jackson,
what
how
are you
about
going to
you,
go
mate?
with?
Yeah, well, for me personally, I think I'd want to know how, only because I struggle a lot whenever there's a deadline or like a specific time that I have to, meet something by, like I struggle badly. So like if there was, I know, like for an example, last year, it would have been the start of the schooling year. And like when you get like all your assessment dates and your SAC dates, and I've literally highlighted the oral presentation, and it was like like September? No,
August.
probably not September,
August,
August.
September.
August, yeah.
So, and literally I was nervous in February. Like that's what, like just knowing the date, I don't think I'd be able to function. So that's why I'm going with how.
Jackson, bringing the Would You Rathers back to homework in year 12. Love
Love it.
That's it.
So that's two
All right.
people saying when and one person saying how.
That's
Oh,
correct.
is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Two people
Two-
saying
two
how,
how.
one people saying
Okay.
why.
Two how, one why. I was pretty confident about how, but after what Jack said, I'm sort of swaying a bit.
Yeah, I can understand why Jack would say
Yeah.
that. But yeah. All right, we'll go into the second one. Second one
I'm looking
is a
forward
little
to
bit,
this one.
Yeah, this one, I don't know. Like, I did get it off a website, but then I changed it up a bit. So we'll see what you guys think. Would you rather swim through the ocean at night for 1 hour or walk through a jungle at night for 1 hour?
Ooh.
hmm
Wow. Okay. Well, Jack, do
So,
you wanna go first this one?
Yeah, I'll happily go first. Yeah. So you boys know I'm heavily into Lost at the moment. TV show from
Yeah.
the mid 2000s. One of the weirdest TV shows of all time, and it's based about a plane crashing into a deserted island. So technically, these people have to live in the jungle, which is part of the question. So living in the ocean, this is how I say it. If not living, if you had to spend a night in the ocean for an hour, you can't see what's going on underneath you. You can't even see what's going on underneath you when it's the middle of the day. So that
Yeah.
fear of not being able to see what's going to attack you is like worrying. Whereas if you're stuck in the jungle, I've figured this out from Lost. You'd be able to make a fire like torch and hold
Yeah.
that, and you
Yeah.
can have some sort of vision to know what the hell's going to be coming at you. Therefore, thanks to Lost, I would go with the jungle.
Yeah, the fire is definitely like a big factor in this.
Yeah.
But then you could think of it as then another factor you could play is like if you're in the ocean swimming for an hour, it's gonna be obviously depending on the weather and that, but it'll probably be pretty cold in the water.
Yeah.
And like that for an hour, that's a long time. Like you would get warm from swimming, but I don't think it'd make much of a difference if you were like in somewhere like in the middle of the ocean in like where Antarctica is or something.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're in the jungle, you could probably muster up some sort of warmth with fire or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there would be more deadly wildlife in a jungle terrain. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
It's definitely fair to say. I'm basing my jungle though off the Lost jungle, so
Yeah. Because like, let's break it down. So a jungle, what could they have? They could have like wild cats. So they could have like pumas, jaguars. They could have like insects that could be deadly.
They could have natives that don't work well with civilized humans.
That's a good point.
Snakes, spiders.
Yeah, all that small stuff.
You could get bitten by a mosquito and die of malaria.
Yeah.
Can't get that in the ocean, can you?
You actually can because mosquitoes love water, but that's okay, Matt.
No, they don't like moving water. They like still water.
Yeah, I don't think there's mosquitoes in the ocean.
Oh, fair. Fair.
So are you saying jungle, Jackson? You're going with jungle?
But like I would say jungle, but I tell you what, like any sort of creepy crawly snakes, like anything like that, mate, I'm out. So I don't know. Like I was reading this article about snakes the other day, and like rattlesnakes have literally evolved in the last 5 years to not use their rattles because like they're more obvious to humans.
Yeah,
that's scary to think about.
that is very scary. I don't want to be doing that. Like snakes, man, they're what's it called? Not poison. Venom. Their venom makes your tissue like rot and dissolve.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no thank you.
It's ridiculous. And apparently the baby snakes are the worst ones because they don't know. No, I'm serious. They don't know how to control their venom. So like they just use all of it.
Makes sense.
So I don't know. I think I'm going to go water, to be honest. Like it is an hour. So
one thing I'm also taking into account is you can't just float. You're gonna have to tread water, which takes it out of you.
Yeah, that's
You can
Yeah.
you
You
can
burn
sit
energy.
down in the jungle.
Sitting down is nice. I don't know. I don't. If it was overnight, I'd definitely go jungle.
Yeah.
I think I would go jungle as well
How come?
because
What's your reasoning?
if you get dropped in the middle of the ocean for an hour at night, you look around, there's nothing you can swim towards.
Yeah.
It's freezing cold. You have to burn your energy trying to tread water. You'll probably get hypothermia if you stay any longer than an hour. Whereas in the
Yeah.
jungle, you're right, you can spend that hour, you could walk around on the jungle, you could sit down, build a fire, use that to sort of keep predators away. I think I would go jungle for an hour.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think I'll go jungle as well. But I do hate snakes and spiders. I'll just point that out. But let us know what you think.
Yeah,
and
message us, the Let's Get Rare podcast on Instagram.
both
I
of
tell
us
you
are
what,
DMs.
guys. I tell you what, I was looking at the statistics, and we had a small percentage of listeners from the USA. So if you're from the USA, please hit us up on Instagram. We would love to hear from you.
Anywhere really in the world, don't be afraid just because you're not from the US to not hit us up if you're from South Australia. Anywhere around the world.
If you're from Fitzroy, hit us up. It doesn't matter.
If you're from overseas, send us a message. Let us know something about your country.
Yeah.
We can mention it on the podcast. We could do a top 5 about it. Top 5 American things. We know a bit about America. Let us know.
Yeah.
Message us. We'll talk about it.
Speaking of top 5 things, I've got a good top 5 this week. But we'll save that one for last because I've got another one that was sent in from a good man, Adrian Sacco, who we mentioned before. That's a possible future guest of the podcast. So he says, top 5 active NBA players who are born in Africa and play the center position.
It's almost as if he's really trying to narrow us down to a certain player.
It's almost as if he loves the center that plays for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah.
Now, this was a very strange request. And looking into it, I think there are only 5 or 6 African-born players in the NBA who play center.
Well, we've got
top 5 is not great.
We've got 5 written down, so I'll list them. So this isn't in any order. How about this? I'll tell you the names, and you guys give me an order. So
Yeah.
we've got Bismack Biyombo, Joel Embiid, Taco Fall, and Matt. You're gonna have to help me out with those 2 names because I'm gonna butcher them.
Got Jan Mahinmi and Gorgie Jeng.
That's it.
That rounds out the 5.
So obviously Joel Embiid is number 1.
Yeah. Indeed, undisputed.
I was
Definitely number
gonna
1.
I was gonna add Serge Ibaka in there, but I think he's more of a power forward.
He plays a 4.
I think he was also born in Spain.
Yeah.
Ibaka, was he?
He was either born in the Congo and raised in Spain, or the other way around.
Yeah. Well,
He
Giannis
played
was
for the
born in
Spanish
Africa.
team. Was
Yeah.
he born in Africa?
Yeah, Giannis was born in Nigeria.
Okay, there you go.
Sorry, guys, just editing this back and have realised that Giannis was actually born in Athens, Greece. So apologies for that. Continue the podcast.
Yeah. And I don't think Taco Fall was born in Africa, but we'll add him in anyway.
He's definitely of African descent.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
that's-
But I think he might have been born in the USA. But that doesn't matter. So, Jack, what's your top 5?
Well, obviously Embiid, number 1. Pretty straightforward there. Number 2, I've gone Bismack Biyombo.
Yep.
3, I've gone Georgie Jeng.
Yeah.
Good. Nice. I respect you trying to attempt it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Can't always rely on Matthew. Number 4, Jan Mahinmi.
Yep, nailed that.
Nice.
And the last one, he's only in the league because he's 7'6" tall. Taco Fall.
Pharaoh. All right. So after that interesting top five, we'll move to a more colourful top five. So with the theme of Easter, the Easter weekend just passing by, I've decided to go with top 5 Easter eggs. So,
Great
boys,
top five.
this is actually, when I was doing this, it was actually harder than you would think. Like there are some cracking Easter eggs out on the market that you got to squeeze into that top
Absolutely.
5.
There are good Easter eggs out there.
All right,
So who
Jack,
wants
do you
to
want to
go
start
first?
us off?
Go ahead, Jack.
Yes. Okay, I'll start us off. Number 5. I've gone with the old reliable, the hollow Cadbury eggs.
Love that.
Okay. So
So,
that is
they're
that like your
hollow.
medium size?
Yeah, medium size, like the really generic, but Cadbury.
Okay, fair
Okay.
enough.
Number 4. I've gone with crunchy chocolate eggs. They're small.
Ooh.
They taste like crunchy. I really enjoy them.
Very nice.
Yep. Number 3. I like strawberry filling in things. So I've gone strawberry filled eggs. So like
Strawberry.
you bite into it and then like a bit of strawberry filling like oozes out. It's quite delicious.
I do. Yeah, I like the way you're going with this. Yeah.
Okay. The first and second place I was tossing up between for a good couple days, but I've even changed it throughout the podcast. Like I had the one that's at number 2 was at number 1, but I changed it
Wow.
10 minutes ago.
Bit of a debate. Okay.
Number 2, the AFL footy egg.
The
one-
AFL footy egg.
You gotta
Yeah.
love the AFL footy egg.
The one with the ladder on the back, everyone loves it. Can't go wrong.
That is
Can't go
awesome.
wrong. Yes, so AFL footy egg coming in very close second. But number 1, okay, let me give you some background on number 1. I've chosen number 1 because it goes even better with the condiment of milk.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
This goes the best with milk. It is a Snickers filled egg. So
Oh.
every year I get a pack of these Snickers filled eggs and I sit down with a carton of milk and I will smash both within 20 minutes and it is probably the best 20 minutes of my life.
Wow.
Yeah. It's huge. Like I've won a grand final before, but that grand final is nowhere near how this feels. So
the
that is my
Snickers
top 5.
Easter egg is number 1 in
Snicker.
Jack's book.
Yes. Snickers and Easter egg.
Crazy. Well, do you want to go next, Jackson? Give us your top 5.
Yeah, sure. I'm actually intrigued to try that Snickers egg. I can't say I have tried it. But anyway, my top 5 Easter eggs. So number 5, I've gone with cream egg. Now hear me out.
Okay.
I don't rate them.
I know a lot of people don't like them, and it's a bit controversial. I love them, right? I absolutely love them, but they're so rich that you can literally only have one per day.
That's true.
Like that's why I've got it at number 5 because they are so rich and full of sugar. I have to put it at number 5. Number 4, gone with Humpty Dumpty.
Oh, yes.
Smarties
they're-
inside.
Smarties filled, yep.
Smart.
Used to love that as a kid.
Yep.
Number 3 egg, I've gone the classical, iconic AFL egg.
Yes.
AFL egg.
It's not so much like the taste of it because I'm pretty sure it's just normal milk chocolate. But it's the fact that it's the size of a football and it has the ladder on the back. That was unbelievable getting that as a kid. That was like Christmas Day all over again.
2 Christmases.
2 Christmases. Number 2, I've gone with the iconic white chocolate bunny. The
I
Oh.
love white chocolate.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
Big fan.
White chocolate is definitely, it's definitely better than milk chocolate for me. But yeah, I've gone the white chocolate golden bunny for number 2, and then
Yep.
number 1. This is going to turn some heads. This one. This is definitely a bit controversial because I know a lot of people don't like it, but the old Turkish delight egg.
Wow. Turkish delight.
You know the gold one, and it's got the little burgundy stripes on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Going
Yeah.
with that one. I love those because you know what the good thing is? No one likes them. So when there's a bowl of Easter eggs, they're all left, and I just take advantage of it.
Very smart. I like
No,
that.
fair.
So good.
All right,
Who?
well, I'll get into mine. Not gonna
Wrap
lie,
this up.
when Jack said his five, I was a bit concerned because I went a bit of a different direction, and I was thinking, oh no, mine is very different to Jack's. Then Jackson's come in, and mine's a bit similar to his, so I feel a bit
Okay.
more comfortable.
Okay.
I'm
What
gonna
the hell?
As
start.
you do.
What the hell did you say? Free range, cage free eggs.
My favorite goose eggs. I love goose eggs. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna start with an honorable
Okay, good
mention:
one.
white chocolate. I didn't put it on the list,
Nice.
but Jackson said it. White chocolate is very good. That's my honorable mention. So that's a sixth, if you
Fair
will.
enough.
Number five, I did have the cream egg, but I wasn't sure if it's that good. Like, I like them, I don't love them. I do love the classic Cadbury eggs, though. Like Jack said, just the plain milk chocolate, that's all you need. That bit of milk, perfect. Number five. Number four is where I start to go a bit rare. I've gone a Kinder Surprise.
Yeah, nah,
It's
fair.
it's not really an Easter egg. It's more of a kid's toy, but that's what makes it so exciting. It's got the kid's toy inside it.
Mate.
I am 18 years old and I'll still enjoy a Kinder Surprise and make the toy inside. I don't care.
Mate, my girlfriend got a Kinder Surprise bunny, and I literally demolished it on my own.
It tastes so good as well.
It was
It
next.
tastes
It was on
good
a.
and it's got a toy.
She was
How
like,
much better can it get?
she was snacking at it, and I just destroyed. Like, I just ate the whole thing.
Just mold the freaking egg.
It's so good because it's got white chocolate on the inside. That's
Exactly.
What,
It's a
It's like-
game changer.
It's my honorable
actually-
mention and my number five put together.
actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna
It's
have
a
to take Humpty. I have to take Humpty Dumpty out and put Kinder Surprise in.
It's a big
Kinder
man that can
Surprise.
shoot. It's got the best of both worlds.
Exactly
It
right.
literally, oh,
It's a big man that can shoot.
I literally can't believe I didn't put that in my top five.
I was a bit concerned when no one said it because it's that good. But
It actually
I'm
is.
glad we've all agreed that they're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, number three, I've gone with the Lindt Easter Bunny in the gold wrapper with the red ribbon and the little bell on it.
You love the bells, don't you?
I do love the bell because this Easter, I woke up and Mum had put a little Lindt bunny on my bedside table. It's the first thing I saw, and I thought, that's really awesome. Thanks, Mum.
That's so awesome.
Hats off to Annette.
Yeah, shout out, Mum, for that. Also, took the bell off, put it on my dog. He was running around all Easter with the little bell so we could hear him from down the street. It was really funny.
Yeah, fair.
Moving on, number two, I've gone the Humpty Dumpty as well.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We-
Smarty man.
Little bit of backstory. We used to do Easter quizzes with my extended family. We'd go to one of their houses, we'd have an Easter quiz, and there were all these different big Easter eggs. Like, we'd have a Humpty Dumpty, we'd have like a Cadbury egg with like more small Cadbury eggs inside it, sort of thing. And the winner always got first choice. When I won, I'm going straight for that Humpty Dumpty 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
Because-
like you get the egg, you pour it out, you got the Smarties inside. It's awesome. I love it. But
You
it's
know
what
sentimental value.
You know what I did once? I filled it up with milk.
I remember that.
I
was
remember
there.
this.
I was there.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
sort
filled.
of. I was in a PlayStation party.
I cracked the top open and I just filled it up with milk. It probably wasn't worth it because it went everywhere, but
But at another level, it was totally worth it.
it was the idea that counted. So
It's a fun story.
yeah. So what's your number one, Matt?
My number one is the Caramello Cadbury eggs.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like
Yeah.
Jack said with the strawberry filling, how you like strawberry, I'm like that with
Yeah.
caramel. It's pretty
Yeah,
much a
that's-
caramello koala inside a little Cadbury egg, and I love them. That's my number one.
Yeah, I tell you what, caramel koalas. Yeah, they're
They're
good.
good.
Big
They're
fan.
good.
So there's our top fives. Can we come to a consensus number one across all three of us? What are we thinking?
That's a tough
It's.
one.
I reckon it's a toss up between the footy egg or the Kinder, even though Kinder was on only one person's list.
And it was number four.
Yeah, it was
Mate, I'm telling you,
I completely forgot about it.
after last weekend's occurrence with the Kinder Surprise bunny, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Kinder Surprise egg.
After last week's mauling,
Mate, that bunny, I feel sorry for that bunny. He got absolutely annihilated.
There it is. Number one is the Kinder Surprise.
Tinder.
Kinder
Despite-
Surprise. If you're
des-
listening, send us more Kinder Surprises. We will eat them. We will make the toys. And Jackson will eat the bunnies. It's that simple.
Yes, I'm a specialty in the bunnies.
Bunny department.
All right. Boys, I've got some news, all right?
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Yeah, so I saved this for last because I want to reward the listeners that stayed through the whole podcast.
Ooh, okay.
So, yeah, so here's the news. My family and I are getting a new dog.
Wow.
Yes, so exciting stuff. It is a miniature schnauzer. So it's
Miniature.
It's similar to the dog we have now, except without the poodle. So it'll be slightly bigger.
What's your dog's name again?
My dog's name is Minnie.
Minnie.
But I've actually it's a male, and I've actually been put on duty to name it. So that's why I've shared the news. I'd love to hear some name suggestions. So if you've stuck around to the end of the podcast, definitely hit us up with some name suggestions for the doggo.
You're going to have to send us some photos of this dog because I'm sure he will be very cute.
Yeah, I've got a couple photos I can share for sure.
Just
I'll
for
look into that.
just for peace of mind, I've recommended Ian after famous Uncle Ian chipmunks.
Well, I've actually got a couple of names that I'll share with you. So I've written them down. So I've got Lonzo,
Lonzo, very good.
Caesar, after you know who. We don't need to name. We don't need to give a backstory. We all know.
I'll get
Caesar.
really emotional.
I've got Fife,
Okay.
after you know who.
Nathan.
Brownlow medalist. And then I've got Toby. Could be
From The
Toby
Office.
Green. Toby Green could be Toby Mitchell, the bikey game person.
I think Toby from The Office.
Yeah.
Could be. And I've also got Cuda,
Cuda.
as in grouse.
Also, not as in Anthony Koutafidis.
I was going to say that's
No.
rare considering you're a Geelong supporter.
No, Cuda as in the northern Australian grouse term.
Grouse it is.
But I don't know, they're pretty average. I sort of thought of those in about 2 minutes. So yeah, it's definitely hit us up with some dog names if you've made it this far into the podcast.
My suggestion would either be Fast Ed or Rob, the DIY man from Better Homes and Gardens. They're my suggestions.
Oh yes.
Fast
Dr.
Ed,
Harry.
Dr. Harry the dog. Awesome.
I reckon you name it Biggie because you got Minnie and then you're gonna have Biggie.
They work so well together.
What about Mickey?
True.
Oh,
Because he is a boy.
Yeah.
that would go together like peas and carrots. Shout out for it,
Exactly right.
All right, well, should we wrap this up?
I think so. Well,
We
guys,
should.
thank you for listening. Again, feel free to hit us up on Instagram if you want to name Jackson's dog, give us your top 5 Easter eggs, or answer our would you rathers, or even give us suggestions for what we want to talk about in the future.
That's
So
it.
on Instagram, that's the Let's Get Rare podcast. Again, the Let's Get Rare podcast. Follow us, shout us out, send us to a friend, go listen to us. We are now on Apple Podcasts as well, aren't we, Jackson?
Yes, we are. We are live on Apple Podcasts. So leave a rating on that or a review, and also on Spotify as well.
Again, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Let's Get Rare podcast.
Yeah.
That's
All
it.
the links will be in our Instagram. So just follow that page and you'll be good to go.
Some would say you'd almost be Cuda.
You would be
Oh, hey.
cuter.
What a way to end it. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Catch you next week.
Says.